Need for Speed The Run promises an exciting storyline and a more cinematic experience than seen in other racing games. Your goal? Get from San Francisco to New York City as fast as you can. Welcome to Leisure Gamer. We review games after an hour of playing to see if they're worth fitting into your busy working professional life. You play as Jack Rourke, who is a marked man in debt to a mysterious crime organization. At the start of the game, you narrowly escape their capture and must flee for your safety. An associate offers Jack a shot at redemption, and she sponsors him in a massive illegal street race from San Francisco to New York. The winnings would be enough to clear his name and pay off his debt. While the first part of the game focuses completely on the story setup, you'll quickly get to the racing, and the narrative merely provides context for specific races. Along the 3,000-mile stretch to New York, you'll have to pass 200 other drivers in order to win. This is broken down race by race, which happens on different highways, mountain passes, and urban settings. One of the coolest aspects of the run are the environments. When you start in San Francisco at dawn, it really does feel like a brisk Bay Area morning. Along your way to Las Vegas, the first major destination of the race, you'll drive through windmill-lined California countryside, the winding roads of Yosemite National Park, and the arid desert of Death Valley. The production value is definitely apparent, especially with the cars. The game runs off the Frostbite 2 engine, which is the same engine powering the graphically stunning Battlefield 3. The developers were clearly going for a cinematic experience with the narrative focus and action sequences loaded with slow-motion collisions.
Hey Jack, you gotta get out now!
Each individual race has a variety of objectives. In one race, you'll have to pass a predetermined amount of cars before crossing the finish line, which determines your overall rank of the entire race to New York. The next will purely be a time trial where your character makes up lost time. Then there is a mix of the two where you have to pass one car at a time and then hold the lead until the nearest checkpoint. Eventually, police will join the race and try to knock you off course, so you have to drive fast and defensively. The best part is their frantic chatter over the radio, talking about how to put a stop to the massive street race.
Where the hell are all these guys coming from? HQ's ordered full containment. I want all major roadways to the city shut down now!
Need for Speed The Run is far from being a simulation like the Forza series, but it's not completely an arcade title like Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. It falls somewhere in the middle, which can make it difficult to control. At times, the game rewards you for playing it more like an arcade title by bashing into other cars, while the next race will be technically difficult with numerous hairpin corners that need plenty of finesse. Fortunately, there is a rewind feature that will place your car back onto the track a few seconds before a crash, giving you a chance to correct your mistake. Depending on your difficulty setting, there will be a predefined amount of rewinds. However, there were times when I drove without crashing or using any rewinds, only to lose at the last second, leading me to restart the entire race. Combine this with the somewhat confusing controls, and Need for Speed The Run earns a rating of high for difficulty. It is possible to get through races on the first attempt, but don't be surprised to rewind or restart frequently. The focus of Need for Speed The Run is on the cinematic experience rather than being a simulation where you can fine-tune cars. There is some customization, but it's purely aesthetic. In order to unlock additional cars and challenge missions, experience is earned by completing races and performing actions like passing other cars and drifting. Progression is tracked through the autolog, which also doubles as a profile to connect with friends online. The races aren't very long, clocking in at about 5 to 10 minutes, but the game does take a while to boot up, and there are long loading times every race. Also, with the possibility of restarting races, the game is best enjoyed when you have a moderate amount of time to spend, earning Need for Speed The Run a rating of evening for time commitment.
Stay focused, Jack. Now we have to get to Chicago in the top 50.
I'm just getting warmed up.
Driving down a stretch of highway at breakneck speeds while darting in and out of traffic is really fun. In order to change cars during the race, you'll pull into gas stations to access the garage. Cars fall into 3 categories, so it's important to pick a car that matches the terrain. Gas stations are limited though, so you'll be driving with your selection for the next couple of races, and it's difficult to favor one category of vehicle over another as the cars do respond completely different. The game does succeed at creating a cinematic racing experience, but it can also be its weakness. It doesn't make sense when you have to restart tracks, since the storyline revolves around one continuous race, and the excitement quickly wears off after the first attempt. The rewind feature is necessary in order to be a fun game, but it just doesn't fit with the narrative structure. Need for Speed The Run earns a rating of not really. When the high-octane racing mixes with the well-designed set pieces, the game is a blast to play, but the frustrations encountered during the first hour will keep me from reaching for this title again. Don't forget to subscribe and share your own thoughts on the game. Till next time, enjoy gaming.